Hello YouTube, today I'm going to start a new series of videos and I'll probably call it Monitoring the Miners. Today I will be using the Raspberry Pi. I have been using a software called Awesome Miner, however it's not that great. I took the network down on purpose and I think it sent me 4 delayed emails when I have 5 miners, and it doesn't really give me every single notification. It's good if you want to see everything at a glance on a computer screen, but if you want to see these details remotely, it's not that great. You'd have to run this software on a remote PC and then expose all the miners using port forwarding, which might not be a good security idea. Here we can see that the ducting modification has cooled down the temperatures between 40 and 50 Celsius, and the fans have reduced the speeds to late 2000s, early 3000s. The vent mods is also helping the GPUs. The first GPU is a bit hot, but the rest of them are in the 50s or 60s, and it's earning almost $22 a day. So back at Awesome Miner, I'm going to try and see if I can make something better. So I have the Raspberry Pi here. I have the instructions. I think I do that with the instructions. I have a 16 gig SD card, which is actually a micro SD card. That might be a little bit too much for what I need. I have a USB mouse, which I might not need to use, but I think I do need a USB keyboard, which I don't have. This thing in the background is a 32-inch TV, which is a bit of an overkill, but this TV is easy to access. And I have a micro USB cable, which I'm going to plug into the laptop for power. So first I'm going to see what happens when I boot up the Pi with no SD card in it. The Pi has a tiny red LED. I don't think anything's going to happen. I need to put an OS on this SD card. There are several Linux-based OS, including one which looks similar to Android. I've never used a Raspberry Pi before, so I'm going to try Raspbian. If you think this is the wrong OS, please leave a comment below. So I've just googled Raspbian, and now I need to find where to download it from. So let's try images. Yeah, I'm not going to go for noobs. I'll go for Raspbian instead of Raspberry Pi desktop. There's a desktop version and a lighter version. I think I'll go for the desktop version. It would be nice if it told me how big the files are. No, it doesn't. Above there it says it's 4 gig. The Pi OS has been downloaded. It's 1.63 gigabytes, and we can see it's an image file. I'm going to download a software that can install images to a drive. It's called Win32 disk image. I'm just going to extract the zip file. I also need to download PuTTY, so I'll do that whilst that's happening. The extracted file is about 4.6 gigabytes, and I'm just going to press write. So whilst that's happening, I'll install PuTTY, and that's going to take a long time to install. So the write is done. This was writing at 4 megabytes per second, so I think this is a class 4 card. I'm not sure why it's writing at a class 4 speed. I'm not going to be able to get this card to focus, but it is in fact a class 4 card. I think I used this micro SD card in my HTC Desire, and at that time I did buy the class 4 card. The SD card goes in underneath. I've just noticed there's a shiny chip there or something. I'll have to see what that is. There's no springiness on the micro SD card. You just put it in and that's it. Let's see what happens when I connect the power up. Oh, we've got some green lights and we've got some colour and some pies on the top of the screen. I must have done something right. It's doing something in the bottom left corner, and I think that's waiting for me to do something. I'm going to connect the Raspberry with this Raspberry Colour Ethernet cable to the laptop, and I'm going to see if I can connect to it using PuTTY SSH. It looks like the Raspberry is still doing stuff. The green light on the Raspberry is still flashing. Okay, so it looks like I didn't need to have the keyboard, so I can just plug the mouse in. I'm just trying to get the Raspberry to log onto the Wi-Fi, and it looks like I do in fact need a keyboard. I think the SSH is not enabled by default, so I just need to do something to the SD card. I first create a file called SSH in the root folder. So that SSH mod has actually worked, and it says the default password for the user Pi has not been changed. It says it's a security risk, but I'll change that later. If I try pi at raspberrypi.local, okay, that didn't work. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to plug this Raspberry Pi straight into the router. The router has USB power out, and then it will get a DHCP address. I'm just going to log into the router and have a look at the connected devices. Here is the Raspberry Pi. I'll grab its IP address and put it into PuTTY. This message is just about a fingerprint. I'm just going to go to yes on this, and now it's asking for the password. I think the default password is Raspberry. Yep, to change the password, you type passwd, you enter the current password, and then you enter the new password twice. It didn't like my password, so I'm going to change it. Okay, it was happy with that. Whilst I'm here, I'm going to do an update. You type sudo apt-get space update, and let it do its stuff. Okay, that was done. I'll just run it one more time. Nothing left to update. Next, I'm going to go into the configuration. To do that, you go to sudo raspi-config. So let's have a look at advanced options. Let's change this to 1080p. And it says the Pi can't be overclocked. Okay, I'm going to enable VNC. SSH should already be enabled. I'll leave the rest for now. Let's see what happens after I reboot it. I'm going to download real VNC, enter the IP address of the Pi, and I'm connected. Let's see what Wolf Farm is. No idea. Okay, we have a web browser here if it wants to open. I can set the Wi-Fi up now if I remember what the password was. This browser is taking a very long time to open up. I'm going to install Teamviewer. Now to test the connection. After I update the Teamviewer on this laptop. Let's try again. I'm in. I'm going to close the VNC connection and I should be able to access the miners from here. The Raspberry Pi is a bit slow, but I can't see my miner stats. It looks like it's 2:15, so I'll end the video here. If you've liked this video and found anything useful, leave a thumbs up. If you haven't done already, please subscribe and click on the bell for more notifications. And could you also like my Facebook page? And I'll see you next time.